Welcome. I think this is on, folks. It is Wednesday at the normal time. If you are here, please let me know if you can hear and see and that the technology is working. Folks, it is Wednesday. It's another week. We survived another week. I'm checking the chat. So far, it is quiet in the chat. It's quiet on the stream. Hopefully, as YouTube sends out the notifications, more people will make it here and somebody in the chat will confirm. All right. And hey, I just got the notification on my own phone that it's funny. I turned it over to show you the notification. It was totally gone. That the stream is on, and maybe other people are getting that just now. I am waffling while I wait for people to get here. I'm checking the chat, saying hey to Sonia, who was the first one in today. Sonia, it amazes me that you make it here because it is the middle of the night where you are, and I don't know how you do it. There is Margaret and Keith and Zach and Soren. So, folks, I feel like every month for the last couple of months have been its own kind of, I don't want to say crisis because crisis is the wrong word. Crisis is the word that you use for people or situations that are really significant. And right now I've got first world problems, right? First world problems meaning, oh, hey, this thing that I'm working on got hit by Google, or I'm just having a hard time. Um, yes, first world problems. So I don't want to use the word crisis. That's not the right word. But I think I can speak for many folks who are going through this that it's just been a tough time lately. It is a marathon that seems to have no end, right? At least with a marathon, after 26 miles, you will get to stop. But this one is like, I'm going to be running a race and there's no finish line. Like I'm just out there forever and ever, and like wrapping your mind around that. Sonia says she's motivated recently, attending all the live streams and writing every day. Yes. Well, that's the thing. I'm so glad you're here because that way I can surround myself with people who are doing the things better than I am. And here's again a time for perspective. So I just logged on to this thing and I went to check the Icarus spreadsheet because I hadn't logged on for a few days because I've had the kids, and I reminded myself that so far already this month, I have gotten 43 articles published. So I had a great start in the first week, and then I had kids this week. So I'm not doing terribly. So even though I'm like, oh, I haven't worked the last couple days and I have no idea what next week will look like because the kids are out of school for summer. So yeah, folks in the chat, how are things? How are you? I heard a rumble, and because I'm not looking, I don't have analytics open on my phone all the time anymore, that there may have been additional Google turbulence earlier this week, potentially on Monday. And for those of you who are looking, I wonder if that was something positive or something negative or something that was just more of the same. And just anybody had any data or anything to share as far as what happened or when or who or why. I'm not sure that I know any more than I did last week when we started talking about this. I mean, everybody wants to speculate about what's going on. Last week we talked a bit about it maybe having been related to perceived AI content. So not AI content, but perceived AI content. That was John Dykstra's thought. And then I was totally not wasting time on a Facebook recently, but in the Affiliate Lab Facebook group, Matt Diggity's Facebook group associated with his course, there was a lot of talk of how a lot of like totally obviously AI sites got the benefit of this update and are doing really well, and how it couldn't possibly be an AI content update and all of the things. So the summary of it is I still know nothing. I still don't have any sort of explanation as to what happened and what there is to fix. So I'm planning on doing nothing. That's right. I'm not planning on doing any Google fixing to any of my sites until I can get some sort of, I don't want to say proof. Proof's not the right word because we never have proof, but some data that confirms that there's something that provably I should actually do. Bloom later, what's up? And there's Maeve and Joanne. What's going on, folks? So today I don't have a big agenda, right? My agenda is pretty light. I do not know if I will stream next week on Wednesday. It really depends on what's going on. I have children at home on Wednesday, which is not the usual thing, but I may still be able to stream. I just don't know. And the only people who are going to know that I won't be here next week, maybe, are the folks who watch the stream, because I probably won't say anything and just not be here. There's Fatima. What's going on? So I did say that this was going to be maybe a lighter stream because I don't have a big agenda. But what I would like to see from folks who are in the chat, and I see there's at least 12 of you. I see Sonia and Keith and Margaret and Zach and Soren and Sabina jumping in. Tell me how your week went. What was the challenge for the week? If you got less done than you wanted, what is the why? Can we brainstorm to fix it? And for those of you who got a lot done, what did you get done and what worked for you? I will say that the things that worked for me up to when the kids came home was that I had put away analytics. And so I wasn't focused on the progress of the sites. I was more focused on getting the things done that needed to get done and wasn't necessarily worried about the global view of the business or progress. And that made things much easier for me to get stuff done. The things that did not help in the last few days of getting things done is just offline things. I had family, I had the end of school coming up. So there's a lot of stuff just happening, and a lot of stuff in the community going on. So I have, it's been a hard time getting to the computer every day. Thank you, Sonia, for jumping in first on this. Sonia says, my challenge is that my eyes are starting to hurt and swell because I'm publishing every day and writing the articles myself. Plus, I have a full-time job, so my eyes are screaming. Yes, well, maybe seeking maybe an evaluation, if it's available where you live, to see an eye doctor. Another thing that you could consider doing is using dictation. So you could close your eyes and actually just speak, or just not look at the screen and then come back later and do the editing. So maybe overall the time that you spend looking at the computer is just less. I mean, even if dictation cut off, even a quarter of the time, that might do something to help you. As far as swelling, that sounds, I don't know that I've ever had like swelling from staring at a computer quite so much. And it makes me wonder if there's something else going on. Some people use like blue light glasses, like to try and reduce the amount of I don't know what it is in the monitor, like the laser rays, just to get less of what comes out of the monitor into you. And you could also consider using eye drops, like saline eye drops, not the ones that are medicated, but just could be that your eyes are really dry because you spend a lot of time going like this without blinking because you're very focused. And that sometimes can also cause pain because your eyes do dry out. Like you need to blink in order to keep your eyes healthy. And if you're very focused, you might not be blinking. So just some things to think about. Sonia says, I need good glasses. I don't wear them. All right. Well, there's a solution, a potential solution to start with. I do think eye drops would help, though. Sabina says, things are ticking along in a boring, normal way. I will take boring and normal. All right. I will. I'm going to get the purple kazoo out for I think boring and normal after the turbulence of Google. We'll take it. All right. We'll take it. I find myself really discouraged by the progress of others, so I'm trying to dig that out of my soul. Comparisons are the thief of joy. And that is something that I am personally working on right now. I can't help but feel, I don't think jealous is the right word, or envious, because I think of those words as maybe negative, because I truly want my friends to succeed, right? I truly get enjoyment and pleasure out of seeing the videos, right? Or or having discussions with friends who are ahead of me or who maybe didn't get sucked into this update. And I enjoy these things, but part of me is like, "Ugh," like it, I, it's going to be my turn at some point. It will. And I also have to remember perspective, like where I'm at right now is far ahead of where I was a couple of years ago, and that there are people who would like to be sitting where I am now. I just had this in mind that this year was going to be the year. And I remember back in 2019 when I felt this way with the site that I was working on, and then May the 4th rolled through. May is apparently my not month. And I derailed me, and I feel like, man, have I really come so far in 2 years? Anyway, that's a ramble on. I understand where you're coming from, and that does not change as you get further along in this. You still feel discouraged by the progress of other, even though you can revel and like celebrate it, because not because you don't want them to have it, or that you just want to be there too. I just want to be there too. I just want to achieve my goals. And Zach says that he's working on a programmatic SEO script for a smaller site. I don't know very much about that stuff, so I'm going to smile and nod and say that's awesome. I cannot wait to hear how that goes over time, and hopefully learn about it as you go on, as you work on it, and gain some knowledge and skill from your experience, Zach. Sabina says, I've heard really good things about morning sunlight, maybe trying to get out in full spectrum of light. Okay, so that's a suggestion for Sonia. I personally work with an open window. So I try to do most of my work during the daytime with natural light rather than ambient light. Margaret said, we used to be advised to look away from screens every 15 minutes. I remember government adverts back in the 1980s. Nobody does that, but taking a little break every hour might work. It sounds like she's just working really hard and spending too much time like right in front of the screen. Maybe sometimes working in the dark. So if you're working in, the laptop is light, and the keyboard has, the little light underneath it, so you don't feel the need to put on lights around you. Maybe putting some lights on around, so it'll just make it easier overall for your eyes to do their thing. I don't know, something to think about. Josh, I swore up and down I thought that you were going to be, I thought last week was the last Wednesday, but here you are again. Well, I'm glad that you're here. Folks, Josh is still here. He's planning on getting lost in the forest here shortly. I'm pretty sure he even says so in his, no, maybe not. I thought for sure you'd be, because your whole thing, everything is like marked out for you. Forest hike starting on the 17th is what it says. I don't know what happened to you last week, because your days, Josh, are all marked in blue, and they say oh. But yeah, Josh is here, and he's planning on going on vacation, which is awesome. Savita says, oh, I'm jealous and anxious, not with people I know, but internet strangers. Yes, well, there is limited value in just going and watching income reports of people who are ahead of you. I mean, there's some value, but after a while, it's just the same stuff. Soren says, what do people think about Carl's theory on affiliate informational ratio for the update? I have not heard it. And if somebody could inform me of the theory, then I would be happy to consider it. Somebody, let's see, take some. So Margaret talks about what ratio did he mention? Soren says 80-20. So Carl is suggesting in one of his videos that an 80% affiliate, 20% informational is the ideal balance for an affiliate site, or just in general. Let's see. Sports Story says, shout out to Josh. He says he is a great help on Facebook with CSS. Cheers. Have a nice trip. Thank you, Sports Stories, for first of all, welcome to the stream. I haven't seen your handle before, so hello. Please feel free to introduce yourself and let us know a bit about you and what you're working on. And also, yes, Josh does a lot of help behind the scenes and doesn't often really seek like accolades or praise for it. So feel free to say something nice about Josh in the chat if he has ever helped you out, because I think that he is a good friend. Sonia says, you sound a bit down. Sending some love your way. Thank you, dear. First of all, I don't feel like the word down is right. I feel, first of all, I don't like sitting here using this space to like complain about anything because I feel very fortunate. I did though just want to share sort of or be real and just talk about the realities of this. And I think a lot of us are going through it. And so I don't want to pretend to be like, it's awesome when I don't necessarily feel that way. But at the same time, it's sort of this balance, right? Being grateful and perspective where I am versus wanting to get better, wanting to improve myself and my position overall, and like frustration for not getting there. Like, how do I find a healthy balance? And I think we're all there. So down isn't the right word. I just had a lot of hopes that recently have sort of like slowed down, and I just have to figure out like how to roll with it, how to get it in my mind that I'm still on track and then get back on it. And not looking at analytics all day long is a big part of that process. Josh says one day he won't be an introvert. I don't think there will ever be a day where I won't be an introvert, and that's just the way it is. Soren says 80% affiliate content site is hit, 80% informational sites is up. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about theories, right? And this is what John Dykstra talked about too in his email last week. Says that every time somebody has a theory, there will always be anecdotal, personal stories where people say, you know, that's not my experience, so you must be wrong. Or, you know, I've heard somebody else didn't have that. You must be wrong. I don't know necessarily that there is an ideal percentage of content from one or the other. I think that maybe a purely affiliate site that was 100% affiliate content review articles still could be successful. I do think so. Even if and I don't necessarily think that that the existence of affiliate links on every single page on the site is the deciding factor. I don't think that is what, like, the thing that check the box that the algorithm is looking for. Like, oh, hey, this site has every page has affiliate links versus this site has every page or 80% of the pages, which is not. So let's reward this one or not this one, and this one versus that. I personally think that the content itself, either affiliate or not, is a bigger part of the equation. So does the content serve the user, the reader, in looking at the stats like time on page? Is there a bounce, like an immediate bounce, like a navigational bounce? They jump in, and like you see in a Zoic, they track the true bounce versus the navigational bounce by how long people stay on, and all of these other things. And I think that if you have an affiliate site that has content where people go to it and they stay on it for a really long time, they interact with the site before clicking out, I don't think it matters necessarily that you have X number of affiliate pages versus X number of info pages or not. What I think is that many affiliate sites have kind of medium content. So affiliate sites where the creator of the site doesn't buy the products, doesn't use the products, is outsourcing the content to people who have also never used the products, who they don't have any pictures of the products or any sort of firsthand stories or knowledge or experience about the products. I think that people tend to see through it. They might not click through. And so the affiliate site overall could be better in a lot of ways. And I think that the metrics overall will reflect that. However, and it's anecdotal, right? Then as soon as I say that, people are like, oh, well, I have a fully automated AI affiliate site and it does great. I make thousands. I'm like, awesome, right? There's no one way to get all of these. I just I just don't think there's a certain ideal percentage one way or another. I think it really has a lot to do with how the people who come to the site act on the site. Do they spend time there? Do they click around? Do they appear to be reading and exploring? And if the answer to those questions is yes, then I don't know that it necessarily matters how much informational content you have on the site. You say, okay, well, I just, I guess the point is that good affiliate content will have the information, right? Does that make sense? You say, okay, well, how much info content do I have to have on the site to balance out the affiliate stuff? And I guess my point is that you won't necessarily have to work out the balance if you are providing the information. Like there's just a lot of information. And if you have affiliate posts that every other paragraph has an affiliate link, has an affiliate link, has an affiliate link, instead of trying to inform the reader or provide them with the information that they need to ultimately do the thing that they want to do or buy the thing they want to buy, then, I mean, maybe, yeah, you'll have to go and create a bunch of info articles to support that. But um, I think that's a roundabout way to say, um, I totally respect Carl for trying to come up with an idea and using the information that is in his power to uh, suggest a potential solution. My stuff, the sites that I had hit in this most recent update, one of the sites has 0 affiliate links and 0 affiliate content whatsoever. Another one had almost no affiliate content. And then the Mega site that was also hit had a very small percentage of affiliate content, and it was still hit. So I don't think necessarily that the percentage one way or another is the deciding factor. I think it has to do with something else. Sports Story says, hey, I'm on Icarus as SRS3. I will update my journey there. That is awesome. And I see you now. I did not realize you were Sports Stories, but I do see you there in the Icarus spreadsheet. And you have 4 websites, and you're planning on trying to publish 120 articles this much, which is bonkers. That's bonkers, but it's an awesome goal. Welcome. Graham says, oh wait, I'm going to go back to Zach's comment. He says a lot of affiliate content is really thin and adds no value. That's the bigger deal in my opinion. That's I think that you said basically really short, which I just rambled on for 10 minutes about, I think. By the way, will you guys and ladies just go and smash that thing? I feel like it's the thing people do. Like you're in the stream, and that way I know that you're, paying attention even though you're lurking and working. But thank you. Graham says, I'm sorry to say it, but on Monday I got hit 95% down. Hybrid affiliate and info sites, 65% info and 35% affiliate across a few others. I don't know what to do. This is one of those ones where, honestly, Graham, I'm not sure that I would do anything. I think that I might even just let that site sit and work on something else. It seems like if it were to be totally hammered and destroyed that much, that I'd probably wait till the next update and see if it bounces back. Because like a almost total destruction, it seems like there's something that is not usually the goal of these updates, and that it's something that whatever it was could end up coming back later. First of all, that's a bummer, though, and I'm sorry to hear that. I probably would invest time into, well, I probably should remember what I have said before and then stick with that. What have I said before? What did I say I was going to do? I said that I was going to turn off my analytics and keep posting to the content, keep posting content to the site as if the update had not occurred, and then see what happens. And so that is the advice that that is the advice I give you. I had speaking out of both sides of my mouth, and I had to like reel myself back in, because I could totally see how a 95% haircut would be painful. It would be devastating. It would be difficult. But then, and I could see basically every reason to put that project down and never pick it up again. But I have to think back and lean on my own personal experience, which was looking back at the site that for me got destroyed in the May the 4th update 2 years ago. And I was devastated. Totally the wind blew out of me, and I put the site down, and I have tried to pick it up again a couple years later and have struggled. And I realize now that if I had just kept working on it, that site would probably be successful today. And I regret it. I regret every month that I did not just stick with that site and keep working on it. And so that's the advice that I am leaning on for myself with this update, which is the sites that were impacted by this update. I'm going to continue to publish as normal and to continue to work on them and learn as normal and do whatever I need to do in the meantime to make sure that I can pay the bills and the kids can eat and all of the things. But I don't want to give up on them. I should not give up on them, because I've learned the hard way that if I just give up on them and move on, that I will never resurrect those. Like, I will have almost no chance of resurrecting them. And then, like, let's say in the future, Google changes something and that site comes roaring back, I will have lost all those months of opportunities to do more with the site. I would just keep working on it, I think. That's what I think. D just rolled in. Has Chris made it out of bed? I don't think so. Chris, if you're here on the replay, or even lurking and working, we do not know that you are here. Good morning. How's your coffee? Zach says, any page that's really just a bunch of product boxes should be hit hard. Sports Story says, I think affiliate articles should be backed up by info articles specific to that product. I think that can be useful. And then Carl actually said sort of the same thing about internet advice. Yes, I think all internet advice should be taken with a grain of salt, meaning use your own brain. You take it in, you say, okay, this is a possibility. I will not just swallow and accept something that some random wacko who makes videos in her bedroom tells me about what to do with my business. I should do some research, get some experience, and over time, I will understand better what to do about things. Josh says, okay, here comes the dad advice, not the jokes. Josh does a good job of calling me out. So I haven't read this comment yet, but I'm going to read it. It says, stop thinking you need to do anything. Keep writing and build up links and more value to the content. There we go. Thanks, Dad. Sabina said, I would cry, and then I'd cry again, and then I'd stare at the computer and cry. I've done that. I think we're going back to talk about Graham's 95% down. It's, first of all, I'd say it's okay to cry. This is a safe space. I think we've all had things happen with our sites, whether we made a mistake and deleted something or downloaded, uploaded spam across all of our. I will name no names, but everybody's just got to get back to it and stick with it. Sonia says, I don't know how not to look at analytics. I'm addicted. I actually think that it can be an addiction like caffeine, dopamine to your brain. For me, it was necessary to get off of it. I did the analytics detox back in November. And while I still looked at analytics in the future, I just stopped looking at it all day because I realized that I didn't need that all day long. So I was checking it just in the morning until about May. And then I found myself back at it again, like checking it all day long. How am I doing? Is it going to get there? What's going on? And that's not healthy. So that is why a analytics detox for June has come at a really good time for me. Sabina says that she's starting email marketing this week. Well done. What a great response to an update. Let's find some other way to get the things done that we want to get done. Husband is working for the rest of the week, so I'm gonna have to work in the middle of the night to get it done. Been there, done that. Send coffee. Graham says, back to Josh's comment about what you need to do or not, just to keep writing. He says, that's rational. He says, I'm still panicking. It has shaved money off my budget. So hard not to be disoriented. I feel like I've been hit by a bus. Yes, well, it is a good reminder that this business is not, there's risk here. There is risk here, and everybody should be aware of it. We should talk about it and acknowledge it and not pretend like there isn't risk here, because there is. Let's see. Graham says, no more complaining from me, back to work. Well, here's the thing I feel about complaining. So when you go to the pub, you go to Cheers, you go to the place to vent about work, talk about work, like the realities, like you complain about your boss, you complain about, these things that happen, like a coworker who, stole something or, made you look bad. Like, this is a place where you can come to talk about the ups and downs. I would love to hear some ups in the chat, not gonna lie, but even the downs, that's a place where else are you gonna go? Where else in the world are you going to go where you could say, this happened to me and I feel terrible? And have people, pat you on the back, on the shoulder, and say, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And Graham, if you keep doing the work, it's going to be okay. I would give you a hug if I could. I'm a hugger. I like to give hugs, but Dee says, on a happier note, when is the new podcast episode coming to YouTube? Well, folks, if you did miss it 3 or 4 days ago, and I actually missed it, Chris did upload a new episode of the Drawing Board podcast to our YouTube channel and also to the places where podcasts can be consumed, such as iTunes and the rest. We were talking about monetizing the podcast and actually like making a go of it, like doing, not really doing authority hackers, but actually trying to become more consistent with it, and then seeing, what would be considered a success. And it's so funny to hear how different our feelings are about when it would be worth it to do something and how much money that would take. So if you want to hear us kind of laughing, then I do recommend that you that you listen to it. Steven, how's it going? Steven, so how has the past couple of weeks treated you? I'm sorry, I got distracted by Dee's comment, which I will come back to. Steven, so I actually haven't heard if you managed to get through the last couple of weeks unscathed or if you had any impacts. And if so, if you had any thoughts as to why or why not. I would love to hear your opinion. Dee says, it was a really interesting episode, but the question is, who is Gail? He is one of the hosts of the Authority Hackers podcast. I forget the other guy's name, but you'll have to watch the podcast. And I do not want to talk trash. That's not even talking trash. It's like it's just kind of like a running joke about their like roles. And I think they play roles on the podcast a bit, but their roles and like which of us would be which. And I think if you know, Gail and Mark. Mark is the other guy. Yes. So Gail, I think, is the one. I think he's French. I could be wrong, but sometimes you can see their country of origin coming out, and maybe the way that they speak, and I don't know. I think it's interesting, and I know who he is. Who out of you and Chris is Gail? I don't know. I think Chris might be Gail. Don't tell Chris I said so, though. Oh my. Sonia says, just a question on interlinking. When you link to your articles, do you need to click open a new tab? What is better for traffic? So when you mean when you check the box in WordPress when it says open a new tab or not, for me, I think it depends on what the link is. So if it is a link to something else on the actual website, so you're not leaving my website, I don't click open in a new tab. But if it is a link to like Amazon or to another website, I will usually click the box that says open in a new tab or open a new window or whatever it is, so that my site is still open. I don't know if it makes a difference or if Google continues to count the time, because it can tell that the site isn't moving around, that somebody isn't actively on it. But I think that it leaves the possibility, the chance, that if they decide that the link that they clicked to Amazon or to wherever else wasn't what they wanted and they close it, that my site will still be there and that they might continue to scroll to look for something else. But if it goes to it doesn't open in a new window, it just goes straight there, and they may not think to click the back button to go back, or maybe it'll just be too long, right? They like jump to here to here to here to here to here, and then going back is too annoying. They just go back to Google or close the window, and then there's almost no chance that maybe they don't remember the domain or anything else. So that's why I select open in a new tab for affiliate links. I don't know, what does everybody else do? I would like to know. Gail is getting married this weekend. Congratulations, Gail. Welcome to the ball and chain. Keith says, Mark is tall, so Chris must be Mark. You know, I would be proud to be either of them. If I was Gail, that would be fine. I would be proud to have the company, the stuff, their progress. I would be more than happy to be Gail if that was the question. And Chris could be Mark. That's totally fine. Although Chris does a better job of saying the things that he really means, and I tend to just laugh at things. Soren says, as far as interlinking, that he does the same for links as me. All right. Well, I feel like if Soren does it, then it must be okay. That's how I feel. All right, folks. Well, I had planned to make this stream a little bit shorter than usual because I, first of all, don't have a ton of stuff to talk about, and I do have a lot to get done. But folks, for those of you who dropped in to check in, I do appreciate you. And I look forward to maybe speaking with you next week. I do have kids at home, so I may or may not make it here. I will try, though. It just may mean that there are like little people like bouncing around all over the place trying to get in the way. Folks, have a great week, and we're going to get through. All right. Take care. And good morning, Chris.